Welcome. Today we're jumping into the fifth chapter of 2 Corinthians
Yeah, it's a really fascinating text. Offers quite a radical shift in perspective.
on life, purpose, identity, the big stuff.
Exactly. It starts right off the bat challenging our view of, what lasts.
Okay, so this imagery, it talks about our bodies as an earthly tent, which
Mhm.
immediately makes you think temporary, right? Fragile, maybe?
Absolutely. Not built to last forever.
Yeah.
And it contrasts that with an eternal house in heaven, something permanent.
Not made by human hands, it says, so a divine permanence,
Right. And there's this feeling described while we're still in the tent, this groaning.
like a discomfort, or more than that.
Deeper, I think, a kind of long, a yearning almost. It says we're burdened, wanting to be clothed with the heavenly dwelling.
So that what's mortal gets swallowed up by life. That's a powerful phrase.
It really is. It speaks to this deep hope for transformation.
Okay, so if that's the backdrop, this temporary life, this groaning for the eternal, how are we meant to live day to day?
Well, the chapter gives a guiding principle. We live by faith, not by sight.
Which sounds simple, but wow, that goes against pretty much everything our culture values, doesn't it? Evidence, proof, what you can see and touch.
Totally countercultural.
Yeah.
Living by faith means trusting in that unseen eternal reality we just talked about. It changes how you see everything now.
It gives you confidence, the text says.
Yeah.
Even a preference, which sounds strange, a preference to be away from the body and at home with the Lord.
Yeah, and it's important to see that's not about hating life now, but about having such a strong conviction, such confidence in what's next through faith.
Right, it reframes your ultimate hope. So with that hope, what's the goal while we're still, in the tent?
The aim, it says, is simply to please him, God, whether we're here in the body or away from it.
And there's an accountability factor too, isn't there? Something about a judgment seat.
We must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ to account for what we've done in the body, good or bad.
So actions matter, but it doesn't feel like it's presented as just like ticking boxes.
No, not at all. The driving force isn't just duty. The text says Christ's love compels us. That's the engine.
Compels us, like it pushes you, motivates you from the inside.
Exactly. And it stems from this core belief. One died for all, and therefore all died.
Okay, unpack that. What does all died mean there?
It suggests that in Christ's death, something fundamentally ended for everyone who identifies with him. The old way of living died, in a sense.
So the result is you no longer live for yourselves, but for him. A total reorientation of purpose.
Precisely. Your life isn't fundamentally about you anymore. It's about Christ. And this changes how you even see people.
Yeah, it says we stop regarding people from a worldly point of view. What does that look like practically?
Well, judging by status or wealth or past mistakes, maybe. Instead, you see them through this new lens.
Because, and this is maybe the core statement, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation.
Yes. The old has gone, the new has come. It's not just cleaning up the old you, it's something entirely new starting.
A new beginning. Wow. Where does this newness come from?
It's from God, the chapter insists. He's the initiator. He reconciled us to himself through Christ. He fixed the broken relationship.
Reconciliation.
Yeah,
That's cute. And God didn't just reconcile us to him.
right. He then gives us a role in it. He gives believers this ministry of reconciliation.
So we receive reconciliation and then we share it, extend it.
Kind of, yeah. It says God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting men's sins against them. And he entrusts the message of that to us.
Which leads to this idea of being ambassadors for Christ. That's a weighty title.
It is. An ambassador speaks for the king, represents another kingdom.
So through believers, God is actually making his appeal to the world.
That's what it says. The appeal is simple but profound. Be reconciled to God. It's an invitation.
And the basis for all this, the new creation, the reconciliation, being ambassadors, it comes down to that final verse, doesn't it?
The great exchange. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us.
So that in him we might become the righteousness of God. That's how it's possible. It's not our righteousness, but his, given to us.
It's mind-blowing, really, the whole foundation.
So looking back at the chapter, we journey from a temporary tent to an eternal home, from self-focused living to being compelled by Christ's love.
From an old identity to being a new creation, and from needing reconciliation to being agents, ambassadors of that reconciliation.
It really is a complete overhaul of perspective.
Definitely. So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. If this text calls you a new creation and an ambassador, practically speaking, what's maybe one specific way that should change how you interact with someone or make a decision, say, tomorrow.
That's a good challenge to leave things on. Makes it real.